Yo, Kpaceguy here, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel, and today I want to talk to you guys about how to set up an amp rack. And not only how to set up one, but why you should consider having one in your home theater. So here in a second, we're going to walk over to the media closet where my amp rack is. I'm going to show you everything that's inside, how I have it laid out, and then why I think you should have one in your home theater, especially if you have a lot of components or your home theater is rapidly growing. Now, before we go over to the amp rack, let's go ahead and talk about why you should have one. What's the benefits of having an amp rack? Well, for me, I have a lot of components. I have 3 different amplifiers, an AV processor, a Blu-ray player, a power conditioner. I have all sorts of things that otherwise would be laid out all across my house if I didn't have one amp rack to house it all in. So that right there is a reason. If you have a lot of components in your home theater, it's nice to have an amp rack where everything is nice and neat. Everything is located in the same central area where you can keep it all cooled, you can all keep it dust free. There's a lot of really nice benefits of having an amp rack. So for me, before I had one, actually most of my life I never had one. I used to have all of my components inside a TV cabinet or some kind of TV entertainment center, which is fine, but it does get hot in there, it can get dusty in there, and there may just not be enough space for all of those things. Going to an amp rack allowed me to get all of my amps out of a cabinet, more open in the air where air can easily flow through. It's a lot easier for me to clean up when it's time for dusting, and if I ever need to change anything out, change wires, unplug things, plug in things, I can just turn my amp rack around because it has wheels, and I have access to the back of all of my electronics all at once, which allows me to label things and make things nice and tidy. So right there are a few benefits of having an amp rack. So I'm going to take you to mine, show you what's inside of it, how I have it laid out and why, and then again we'll go through why I think you should have one in your home theater. Alright guys, we are inside the closet here. If you're not familiar with my layout with my channel, this is actually right next to my living room where my home theater is. So it's not a far distance from anything, but all of my components that I use every single day is all plugged in right here inside this amp rack. And you guys can already see how easy it is to access everything. What I did, I put everything that I use the most at the top and things that I won't touch at all more towards the bottom. Nobody really wants to bend over to do a lot, so you put your most used items on the top and then the ones that you don't use on the bottom. So that may be nice, but sometimes things weigh a lot of weigh a lot of pounds. Like for example, the Monolith 7X down here, that's my amplifier, that weighs 100 pounds, and these shelves can't hold that, so the bottom one is where this had to go. But let's talk about this. So at the very top, I have my AVM70. This is the Anthem processor that I use in my home theater. I have it at the top, of course, because it's right here within arm's reach, and I can get to it no problem, and this is what I touch the most out of everything in this rack. So that's at the very top. Now you can get racks that have doors, glass doors, that can be taller than this, that can be smaller than this. So depending on your home theater, you can pick a rack based off of how many components you have and what you need. Now this is a really nice, I think this is a 20U rack, I think. I got it on Amazon. I'll try to find it and link it down below. I got it on Amazon. I did do a video on this. It's from Samsung. You can get ones with doors, more racks, you can buy more shelving, whatever you want to do. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 shelves in this one, and it's been great. It's solid, has wheels, I can get behind it really easily, so it's really nice. So at the top of my rack is the AVM70, and just underneath it is the OSC Audio Nero X A5180. This is powering my Atmos speaker, so pretty nice and pretty decently weighted amplifier here. Now we have my Blu-ray player right here, Panasonic DP-UB820. That's my Blu-ray player of choice, and on underneath that is a Sendavo PM-X6600. This is my power conditioner. Now my 2 amplifiers, I don't touch anything down here at all. That's why they're down there for sure, because of that and the weight. But down here is the Crown XTI 4000 powering one of my 3 subs, and then a Monolith 7X that's powering all of my 4-level speakers. So this is my amp rack, and I have it laid out based off of how many things do I need access to. Really all that I touch is the Blu-ray player and the AVM70, and so it's right here within, you know, reach. I don't have to bend down to do anything. So you want to lay out your amp rack based off of not only weight, but if you can, the order in which you're going to need to touch these things. So it's really nice layout, easy to clean. If I was to turn this amp rack around, it's an open back amp rack. So I can get to all my wires, I can change out things, upgrade speaker wire, upgrade XLR cables, change HDMI cables, whatever I want to do. All I can do is turn this amp rack around because it's on wheels, and now my entire back panel is open. This also allows me to clean back there. When it is time to dust off things, I have a lot easier access to that. Now, there are things like this, for example, the Soundavo, that you can mount directly to the amp rack itself. These are rack mountable things, so this is really cool. So if you don't have a shelf, that's fine. You can actually mount your units to the amp rack itself. So it's just a lot of different options for you whenever you're using your rack and putting your components in. Now, we went through all my components. You guys can see how many I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 6 different components that I use to power my home theater. And imagine trying to fit these all into an entertainment stand. It wouldn't be fun trying to find the space, keep the heat down, right? So all this is now easy laid out, open, and it's manageable. You can also get cooling fans for amp racks too that will either take air from the bottom, suck it up, and spit it out, or just send cool air through all of your equipment. So I don't have any fans in here because none of this stuff ever gets hot. But if I want to, I can add a fan in here and it will keep my entire amp rack cool. I definitely recommend it if you get one with a door. It will keep your entire amp rack cool and don't have to worry about anything overheating over time. So you guys can already see the benefits of having an amp rack. Even if you only have 1, 2, maybe 3 components, it's still maybe worth it. You can get amp racks half the size and put everything in there instead of having it all out in the middle of the room. Now, a reason that I think you should have an amp rack that we haven't mentioned yet, that I don't think a lot of you guys would think about until now, is all the lights that shine when you turn on your equipment. Every amplifier has some kind of blue LED, or your receiver has a big panel that shows you all this information. A lot of you guys don't like having your LEDs kind of shining at you when you're in your dark room trying to enjoy a movie. It's a great way to put it in a rack and kind of hide it away so you don't have all those lights shining in your home theater. Now, a lot of you guys do like the lights and listening to the relay clicks because it just sounds cool and looks expensive and you want to see your gear. But I think more so than not, most people don't want to see those blue LED lights or whatever lights that you have shining when you're trying to enjoy your movie in pitch black. I understand that completely. I don't really care, but it is nice to not see anything other than the screen when I'm watching my home theater. So that's a reason that you guys need to think about. Also, these do produce a lot of heat. When you have a lot of components on, it produces a lot of heat. And having it out here in your living room will warm up your house. It will. And that might be good in the winter time or the fall, but when in spring or in summer it's already hot, it really does make a difference how much hotter your house is when all of your equipment is out in the open. It causes a lot of heat. And so putting it in an amp rack and getting a fan will keep everything cool and centralized so that you're not heating your house and your air conditioner is trying to combat that. Alright guys, there are a few more reasons why you should get an amp rack, but I'm going to leave it up to you guys to get down there in the comment section and share with me some of your reasons why you should get an amp rack. If you have one, leave me a comment down below and let me know either why did you choose to get one, or if you do have one, what benefits have you gotten from having an amp rack? Let us know that down below in the comment section. Hit that like button and subscribe if you are not already. We will see you guys in the next video. Kpaceguy out. Peace.
Say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high, even if the sky is falling down.